nation. There are many reasons to love Ventura County, but I'm going to talk about just 3. Ventura County loves women leaders. Both our state senators, our new state assemblywoman, 2 of our county supervisors, and scores of mayors, city council members, and school board members, all strong and passionate women leaders, were all elected by Ventura County voters. Why? Because Ventura County believes in policies that improve the lives of women and their families, from equal pay for equal work, to raising the minimum wage, to pay family sick leave, to defending a woman's right to choose. Ventura County voters want to improve the lives of women, knowing it will improve the lives of their families, our families, and of our economy. So guess what? Guess who else supports these policies? You know who? That's right, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Ventura County is also the home of Naval Base Ventura County. And I am so proud to represent the brave men and women who serve our great country and the over 40,000 veterans who call Ventura County home. And guess what they want? They want a steady hand. They want someone who will put our national security first, who understands that the world is complex and that it requires policies that are tough and smart. Guess who else supports these policies? Hillary Rodham Clinton. And nowhere in Ventura County do the residents understand more the contribution that immigrants have made to our history. Our richness as a great nation and the strength of our economy, and especially the dreams of our dreamers, than right here in Oxnard. Ventura County residents want immigration reform that keeps families together, that welcomes immigrants into our communities, that understands that America is great because of the contributions of immigrants. Guess who understands this? That's right, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Ladies and gentlemen, you can send no louder signal that Ventura County, the state of California, and the nation rejects a candidate who speaks to and about women with disdain, whose views on foreign policy are not only incoherent, but downright dangerous, and who denigrates the very people who made our country great and will continue to keep our country great. We all must get out to vote, and to get your families out to vote, and to get your friends out to vote. The primary is this Tuesday. Hillary Rodham Clinton, the best. Ladies and gentlemen, please give But what a great way to spend part of a Saturday afternoon. I want to thank Congresswoman Brownlee for that wonderful introduction. We're very proud to have her in the Congress. I look forward to working with her if I'm so fortunate enough to be president on your behalf. I want to thank Representative Das Williams. I want to thank the superintendent, Dr. Penelope De Leon, Principal Gary Maeda. I want to thank the Wainimi High School community, and particularly this great band. I am so pleased you're here. You look great in your uniforms, really. What does Wainimi mean? And he said it's a resting place. It's a resting place. And it's also a place filled with hard-working people. It is a place where you care about your families, you care about your community, you take pride in your schools, and you are so much a part of the kind of America that I cherish. People who care about each other, care about your neighbors, are devoted to your families and their futures. That is who we are as Americans. Let us never, ever forget that. We are stronger together. Going to be a really significant election. Oh, hey, I want to thank Mariachi Band, too. So glad you're here as well, looking good in your uniforms, too. Wow. I want to just talk for a few minutes about the stakes in this election, because every day that goes by, they seem to get even higher. And I really believe that this is one of the most important elections we've had. And why do I say that? It's not because I'm running. If I weren't running, I would say it was. It's because I have been deeply honored and privileged over the last years to have met a number of our presidents. Going back to President Carter, President Reagan, first President Bush, in addition to, of course, my husband, the second President Bush, and President Obama. Now, they were of different political parties, we know that, and I sure didn't agree with everything they did, but I will tell you this, they all carried themselves, presented themselves as men who understood the seriousness and responsibilities of the job.
They, each with their own backgrounds and experiences, came to the office of the presidency and the duties of commander-in-chief with a sense of awe and honor. I know how hard this job is, and I know how important it is that the person we vote for understands that everything you say matters. Matters here at home, matters around the world. Because when you are seeking, and certainly when you are serving as President of the United States, the entire world is listening. We bear a responsibility of leadership. I'm proud of that. I think about all our veterans who we honored last Memorial Day and the service they gave to our country. And I know that to every generation, that responsibility falls. So when I talk about what's at stake here, I'm talking about the test that you should expect anybody running for president to pass. First of all, can this person actually get things done that will make a positive difference, produce results in my family, my community, and our country? Secondly, can this person protect America and lead the world with strength and steadiness? And thirdly, can this person unify our country? Well, honestly, I think it's fair to say on each of those tests, Donald Trump fails. Take the first one. I've been putting out for more than a year what I think we can do together to create more good-paying jobs with rising incomes. There is nothing more important to a hard-working American than a good job with a future that can give you a good standard of living for yourself and your family. We need more good jobs. We need more jobs in infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our tunnels, our ports, our airports. We need more advanced manufacturing jobs. Jobs that can't be exported, but instead come back from overseas to put people to work. Climate change with more clean, renewable energy. California has been leading the way, but there is still a lot of work to be done in energy efficiency, in solar, wind, everything else. I've said let's make a plan to install 500 million more solar panels by the end of my first term and enough clean energy to power every home in America. Important jobs with purpose and a good income. Now, Donald Trump has no plans. And basically he says climate change is a Chinese hoax. Sort of sounds like Trump University, if you ask me. Taxes on billionaires. You know, we tried that before. It doesn't work out so well. Some of you remember during the 1990s when my husband was president, we had 23 million new jobs and incomes went up for everyone. We were on the right track. Right? Well, what happened is we got a Republican administration and they went back to cutting taxes on the wealthy. And they ignored all the risks in the financial markets, the mortgage markets, and we ended up with the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. And when President Obama came into office after he was elected in November of 2008, he inherited that mess. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves for making sure we did not go even deeper. very specific ideas about what we can do to really get the economy pumping, get more people back into the job market and get those incomes rising. But it's not enough just to grow. We got to make the economy fair. We got to do more to help small businesses again. Small business actually creates most of the jobs in America. We need to follow California's example and raise the federal minimum wage. And we need to finally guarantee equal pay for women's work. This is not just a woman's issue. If you have a mother, a wife, a sister, a daughter, we all have at least one of those. It's a family issue. It's an economic issue. We believe in America that if you work hard, you should be rewarded. And that's true for women and men. It's true for everybody. So we're going to make sure that it finally results in equal pay. Now, everything I've just said, Donald Trump disagrees with. He doesn't want to raise the minimum wage. He doesn't believe equal pay is a problem. I also believe we've got to do more to help people balance family and work. We've got to hold down the cost of child care. In some places it costs as much as college tuition. We need to do more to help people afford to go to college again. And I've set out a plan that if you go to a public four-year college or university, you're not going to have to borrow a debt right now. What I'm interested in is how we lift up families, provide more support for families, because when families are strong, America is strong. Now, when I talk like this, which I've been talking like this for about 40 years, when I talk like this, Donald Trump accuses me of playing the woman's card. I'll tell you what, you know what's coming. If equal pay, raising the minimum wage, making child care affordable, protecting a woman's right to choose is playing the woman's card, then deal me in. Look, we also have to make sure people can get quality, affordable health care. I will defend the Affordable Care Act. Before there was something called Obamacare, there was something called Hillary Care, so I know about that. But we've got to get the costs down. Premiums, co-pays, deductibles, prescription drug costs, they're going up too fast. And we got to do two more things. We have to do a better job treating mental health and addiction. Great work for us to do. I look at these young people. I want them to believe, because I believe it, that America's best years are still ahead of us if we do our part. If we work together, if we make the decisions we must to provide the opportunities. But it's also important that we protect America. And I gave a speech in San Diego a few days ago outlining all of the reasons why I do not think Donald Trump is qualified to be Commander-in-Chief. I don't say that lightly. I use his own words. When someone running for president attacks our closest allies and praises dictators, I don't know what to make of that. When someone running for president says we should pull out of our major defense alliance, namely NATO, and he doesn't really care whether countries like Japan, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia get nuclear weapons, that's dangerous. When he says that he wants to return to torture and that he's going to order our military to kill the families of suspected terrorists, that's not only against our values, that violates international law. But it also runs counter to the honor of our country and the honor of the men and women who serve in our armed forces. And I want to tell you, I was one of that small group that was asked to advise President Obama about whether or not to go after bin Laden. We had intelligence that pointed to an odd-looking big compound in a city in Pakistan that was a military garrison city. That's where their equivalent of West Point was. A lot of active duty, retired military lived there. So we knew we had to get it right. I was very committed to bringing bin Laden to justice because I was a senator from New York on 9/11. I was at ground zero within 24 hours of our being attacked. I saw what it meant for us to have 3,000 people murdered. So I was going to do what I could, but it had to be done in a very careful, thoughtful way. So we studied the intelligence. We worked on this for hours. And then at the end, the president went around and asked everybody for their opinion. It was a very experienced group of people, but we didn't all agree. Some said, well, you know, I just don't think the intelligence is strong enough. We shouldn't do it. Others said, look, I think it's strong enough, but I don't want to risk our special forces going into Pakistani territory, so let's just use a missile. And others said, it's strong enough, and we've got to send in special forces because otherwise we will never know if we got it. And I was in that last category. We all gave our opinions. There's 2 points I want to make to you. The president, at the end of listening, said he was going to retire and ponder carefully what he should do. Because you can have all the experts, you can have all the good advisors, but at the end of the day, these hard choices have to be made by the president. And the president made the decision, and the raid was carried out. And during that raid, some of you may have seen the movie or read about it, one of the helicopters clipped its tail going into land in the courtyard of the compound, which meant it was disabled, which meant that after the SEAL team got into the compound, fought with the bodyguards of bin Laden, one of his adult sons, and then bin Laden himself, they had to blow up that helicopter before they could leave. And here's what I want you to know. They stopped and took precious seconds to take all the women and children out of that compound. So that when they blew that copter, they would not be putting those lives at risk. Now those were, let's face it, those were wives of terrorists. Those were children of terrorists, including bin Laden's. But that, my friends, is what American honor looks like. The third big test is whether you can unify our country. And everything we've been hearing from Donald Trump tries to divide us. Day after day, attacks on people, starting by attacking immigrants from Mexico, attacking women, attacking Muslims, attacking with disabilities, attacking John McCain. It's really troubling to see someone seeking the most important job probably in the world who talks about people like that. Now just recently we've seen another example. This so-called Trump University. It wasn't really a school. It wasn't accredited. It was a scam. It was a scam. And it took advantage of vulnerable people, encouraging them to max out their credit cards, empty their retirement savings, destroy their financial futures. The victims and the Attorney General of New York are suing Trump for fraud. And Donald's own employees are testifying that it was a fraud. Now, how does Trump respond? He's trying to distract people by making a prejudiced, bigoted attack on the federal judge who's hearing the case here in California. He has said that this judge should be disqualified because, in Trump's words, he has Mexican heritage. Now, this is not just another outlandish, insulting comment from Donald Trump, and it is not normal politics. This is something much, much more dangerous. Now, let me tell you about this judge. His name is Judge Curiel. His parents immigrated to the United States. They settled in Indiana. That's where their 4 children, including the judge, were born. And the last time I checked, Indiana was part of the United States of America. Their youngest son went to law school, became a prosecutor, and went after the toughest criminals. For 1 year when he was a prosecutor, he lived in hiding because of threats from drug cartels against him. Then he was appointed to the state court here in California by former Republican Governor Schwarzenegger. And then he was appointed to the federal court by President Obama. This, my friends, is the story of America. This is an inspiring story of someone who worked for everything he had. It's a story that makes me proud. Judge Curiel is as much of an American as I am, and he's as much of an American as Donald Trump is. But he has Mexican roots. So to Donald Trump, that means he can't do his job. Well, Donald Trump's not just wrong about Judge Curiel, he's wrong about America. He's wrong about what makes this country great. And on a day that we are mourning Muhammad Ali, it's worth remembering that we live in a country where people can break down barriers, where they can worship their own God, where they can choose their own name, and where they can lead and follow their dreams as far as their hard work and love will take them. I've always believed that in America, it doesn't matter where your parents were born or what color your skin is. We're judged by our words and our deeds, not our race, not our ethnicity, not our religion. So it is time to judge Donald Trump by his words and deeds. And I believe that his words and his deeds disqualify him from being president of the United States. Tearing our country down, insulting our country. But that doesn't mean we rest on our laurels. We have work to do. It means young people have to pursue their education and work as hard as they can to go as far as they possibly can reach. It means we all have to do our part to stand up for our rights. And that's exactly what I will do. I will defend a woman's right to choose, and I will defend Planned Parenthood. I will defend marriage equality and work to end discrimination against women. I will defend voting rights and work to appoint Supreme Court justices who reverse Citizens United. I will defend workers' rights and the right to organize and bargain collectively. I will introduce legislation within the first 100 days, if I'm fortunate enough to be president, to achieve comprehensive immigration reform. Against the gun lobby for common sense, gun safe. give you slogans and rhetoric. I want you to know what I will try to do if I'm your president, and I want you to hold me accountable. Because I want to rebuild that sense of respect in our country. A democracy runs on respect. And I don't think I have all the answers either. You know, one of my favorite Trump quotes is he said he thinks he knows more about foreign policy and national security than all the generals. He's asked who he listens to. He says he talks to himself because he has a very good brain. One of my personal favorites is he says he knows how to deal with Putin because he took the Miss Universe pageant to Moscow. Look, I don't think I have all the answers. If you're looking for somebody who believes he has all the answers, I'm not your candidate. I can promise you hard work, and I can promise you I will listen and learn from people in our country. And I can promise you I will go anywhere at any time to meet with anyone to try to find common ground. Because that's what we've got to get back to doing. Our country was set up so that people have to work together. And that's what I believe in. I have seen it. I have seen my husband. I have seen Barack Obama. I know how hard they have worked. It's not an easy job. It's a job that requires 24/7, but it's a job that requires somebody who not only will seek common ground, but also stand our ground about what is important to America and our place in the world. I will know that the people here deserve a president who gets up every morning trying to figure out how do we make life better for the hard-working folks in Oxnard, California. But I can't do any of that without your help. If you all have a ballot at home you haven't filled out, please fill it out. Send it in. I would be honored to have your support. And if you don't, come out and vote on June 7th. Come out and cast a vote for your future. My name may be on the ballot, but I have worked hard to make a difference in people's lives for a long time.